Now we'll discuss the questions, not only the questions which are given in the exercise, but some extra questions too. MCQs, I've already told you that how in each paragraph, in each line, in fact, there can be a question of MCQ, right? So what is very important is whether it is your supplementary or it is your main textbook, you have to read each and every lesson thoroughly. Because in MCQ, you can easily get marks, right? Not a single question to be missed and get full marks in MCQ. When you get full marks in MCQ and other short questions, you know what happens? You have a very strong position. Where you lose maximum marks in the writing skills. And where you get maximum marks, you get maximum marks in literature and in the reading section. And you lose maximum marks in the writing section. So that's how you can earn marks by reading it thoroughly so that you attempt all the MCQs correctly. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
This first question. What are the things the child sees on his way to the fair? When he is going to the fair along with his parents, what are the things that he comes across?
Ma'am, the child sees the mustard fields, the sweet shop,
Right.
the balloons,
right,
and the snake charmer,
right,
and the little insects who are dragged, and many of things. But he lagged behind all those things.
Yes. One thing here you had said that he sees the snake charmer, right? I just want to be sure that he sees the snake charmer in the fair or while going to the fair. Okay, fine. Yes, that's right. Oh, yes. That's right. Perfect. Correct, Anmol. Right? So there are a number of the things which are given here, Anmol. But this question, if it is for 2 marks only, right? Any 3 or 4 things, if you mention correctly, you will get the marks. It is not necessary to list all the things. Is that clear? So you can simply say the child, while going to the fair, sees the toy shop, dragonflies, butterflies, mustard fields, snake charmer, a flower seller, a balloon seller, sweetmeat seller, etc., etc. Yes, now the question is, you said that he lags behind. Yes, he does lag behind. Why does he lag behind?
Ma'am, because he knew his parents not allowed to buy and see anything.
This is the answer. No, I'm afraid this is not correct. Okay, what the answer would be, he lags behind because he is very excited to see all these things in the fair. He is a small child. It is natural for him to be excited, right? So you would say that he has seen all these things on his way to the fair. He is so excited and so curious that he wants to enjoy each and everything. The parents do not pay any attention to his wish. So due to that excitement, he lags behind. I hope the answer is clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's come to the next. In the fair, he wants many things. What are the things that he wants?
Ma'am, he wants the sweets, the garlands, the balloons, and he wants to watch the snake dance also and rides.
Right, he wants the rides also. Very good. Why does he move on without waiting for an answer? First, I would like to ask you, does he express his desire that he wants those very things?
Ma'am, yes, he murmured
Right, very good. Yes, he does express by murmuring. Okay, this is how you have to incorporate your answer in a sentence. Fine. You would say, yes, he does express his desire by murmuring. Why does he move on without waiting for an answer? Does he get an answer for that?
Yes, ma'am, because he knows his parents would not get him any of things he asked for.
Right, right. He does not get any answer from his parents. He knew they would not get him anything, or they would not fulfill his wish. Therefore, he moves on without waiting for an answer. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Yes, Vinayak, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes, we are discussing questions. We have already discussed the first two questions. If you have any doubt in these first two questions,
No, ma'am.
okay. Now let's come to the next. When does he realize that he has lost his way?
Ma'am, the child realizes he lost his way when he wants to go the merry-go-round
Right?
and said loudly to the parents, "I wanted to ride," but then he saw his parents not with hers.
Right, right. Okay, so let me just sum up your answer here, right? You would say that very intently he had been watching the children enjoying the ride on roundabout, right? He wanted to enjoy the one. As he asked his parents that he wanted this ride, he got no reply from his parents. He looked here and there, but he did not find any sign of his parents. Then he realizes that he has lost his way, right? How have his anxiety and insecurity been described? First
He
of all, when he realizes that he has lost his way, Vinayak, how did he react?
ma'am, he starts crying bitterly at once and runs here and there in
Good,
search of his parents.
very good. He panics, right? Do use this word, beta. You
Okay,
would
ma'am.
say, yes, you are absolutely right. He starts crying bitterly. He runs here and there in search of his parents. He panics. He keeps on crying loudly to draw the attention of his parents so that wherever they are, they could find him, right? And this is how his anxiety and insecurity has been described. Is that clear? So the second
Yes,
part you
ma'am.
have already answered. Why does the lost child lose interest in the things that he had wanted earlier?
The child loses interest in the thing he had wanted earlier, but when he realizes that he lost and feel very insecure without her parents,
Right,
he only wants his parents right there.
right, very right. Anything else?
Ma'am, can I say my
Anything else
answer?
could you add here? Absolutely right. Yes, yes.
The lost child loses interest in the things he wanted earlier because he got lost in the fear. He's panicked, and only want his parents.
Right, right. Okay, now let me sum it up. Okay, both of you have given the answers. Let me sum up your answer. The lost child earlier wanted so many things, but now he loses all interest in the things because he realized that he had got separated from his parents. As Anmol said, he was feeling quite insecure in the absence of his parents. His sense of security and his bonding of love and affection for parents haunted him or did not let him take interest in those very things. He had wanted only his parents, nothing else. Is that clear? Now here regarding this question, one thing I want to tell you something, children. If this question is for 2-3 marks, it is okay. Suppose the question is a long question is for 6 marks. I think you people are getting
Maximum marks 5.
5. Okay. If it is 5 marker, then what to do? Then you have to elaborate the same answer. Many a times the children do not understand how to elaborate. I tell you an examination trick, right? In the exam, when you come across such a question, give 1 or 2 examples. Right? If you can, you must give 2 examples from the story. That would leave an impression on the examiner that you understand and you know everything and you have read the story thoroughly. Is that clear? Now let me summarize the answer for the 5 marker question. Right? How you will begin? The child had wanted all those things that he had seen in the fair. For example, he wanted the sweets, his burfi. He wanted to enjoy the flute of the snake charmer. He wanted the multicolored balloons. He wanted to enjoy the ride. Though he knew he would not get a chance to enjoy all these because his parents would not give him any consent. Yet, however, he murmured, but he expressed his desire. Soon he realized that he was lost when he expressed his desire to enjoy the ride and he got no response from his parents. While he had been looking here and there, crying bitterly in search of his parents, a stranger spotted him. He lifted him up and he wanted to calm him down. In order to pacify the boy, he had drawn his attention to all those things which he wanted. He offered him sweets, he offered him balloons, he offered him rides. But the child was no more interested in all these things because he was feeling insecure in the absence of his parents. He wanted only his parents' company, nothing else. Nothing would attract him now except his parents because his unconditional love and affection with his parents. So the parents are more important than anything else to the child. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So this is how you have to give the answers. Right? Do add 1 or 2 examples. Right? Yes. What do you think happens in the end? The child remains a lost child or he is reunited with his parents?
Yes, I feel that the child finds his parents at last. The kind-hearted person must have tried his best to find his parents.
Very good. Anmol, do you want to add something to this?
No, ma'am.
Okay. This answer is perfect. Okay. Yes, in the end, let us be very optimistic. You will not say that the child finds. You would say the child might have found. Now you look here, Vinayak, how the sentence is changed, expression is changed. When I say the child does find, it means definite. But we cannot be sure since in the story it has not been mentioned. So we are giving only the possibility, right? So we would say, in the end, I hope or I think the child gets reunited with his parents. The strange man, however, he was stranger, but he might have pitied on the child as he had been trying to divert his attention. He must have helped him to find his parents and he must have got him reunited with the parents. So in this way, in the end, it would have been a happy end, like a Hindi movie. You can add here, like a Hindi movie, it might be a happy ending, the parents and the child reunited, right? But if you find that the weightage of the question is more, then you elaborate. How you will elaborate this question? You would say, yes, the parents and the child, they might have been reunited. Perhaps the stranger must have conveyed to the parents how careless they had been, that they just move ahead without their child. He was such a small child, it was completely irresponsible on their part that they had left him unattended. They never realized that their child was not there with them. They might have been to the reception of the fair. They might have approached the police. There would have been an announcement about the lost child, but nothing of this sort happened. That means till then, the parents were not aware that they had lost their child. Perhaps the man must have handed over the child to the parents, and the parents should have been thankful to the man. They would have expressed their note of gratitude to the man that he had brought their child safe and secure to them. Is that clear?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
जब भी हमें इलेबोरेट करना होता है ना, तो उसमें हम अपनी पर्सनल ओपिनियन जो है उसको हम ऐड कर देते हैं, राइट? अब आगे आपके रीडिंग सेक्शन में आपको वो कराया है केस बेस्ड रीडिंग कॉम्प्रिहेंशन?
नो मैम,
वो अभी नहीं कराया ना? हाँ, दैट इज न्यू. मे बी दे विल, दिस इज द मिड टर्म एग्जाम ना, before the first term they will definitely tell you this. So in that case based analytical reading and writing sections, etc., there you have to give your personal opinion. That is very important, and you give extra marks for that. You give extra marks for that. I myself have always been giving extra marks to the students in the writing section, those who had been giving their personal opinion. I always tell them to write one paragraph where you are giving your own personal opinion or your general inference, right? So whatever you read, you must form your own personal opinion also about it, right? Just as in this story you had framed your own personal opinion that the child might have been united with the parents, isn't it? So he is no more a lost child, right? Okay.
yes.
Now here is the statement that can be given in the form of question also. How to ensure not to get lost? How do you think should the parents ensure that the child is not lost? Now this is something general. Let us discuss a few things. What do you think that the parents should do that when they are carrying a small innocent child with themselves, they ensure that their child is secure, the child is not lost? Yes.
The parents should be more aware if their innocent child get more attractive by the fair things like sweets and garlands, like a soul lost child get.
Good, good. What else? Any other? Just try to recall your own childhood. In your early childhood, when the parents were taking you somewhere out, do you remember that they might be giving you some instructions also?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
For example, just try to recall. Yes, use your knowledge here. Use your experience here.
Ma'am,
Yes.
the parents give the instructions to us. We have to also follow them in the instructions.
Right. Okay. Yes. What else?
And the child should hold the hands of his parents at a crowded place.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. Correct. Anything else? Yes. You see that the children, you would start it like this, that the children are always small and innocent, however big they are, because they are children, right? It is always the responsibility of the parents when they take their child out, whether to a lonely place or to a crowded place. The parents should make the child understand a number of the things before they leave their place for an outing. Many a times the children, they get irritated by the series of instructions given by the parents, but the parents should not be affected by this. They must do their duty and instruct their child not to leave the parents, not to leave their hand when they go out. The child should also be told that when they are going out, the child and the parents, they should keep on talking after every short interval. Because you know that when they are talking with each other, what happens? Both of them, they are sure that they are in the company of each other, right? That also gives a sense of security to the child, at the same time assurance to the parents that the child is there with them, right? Then in the meantime, the parents should time to time keep checking cautiously about the presence and security of the child. Another important thing is that the parents should tell the child whatever the child wants, they would take care of, and if possible, they would allow him, they would let him enjoy. So he should not be fussy about anything. Is that clear?
Yes,
The child should always be tutored by the parents to behave when he goes outside. The child should be instructed by the parents not to talk to the strangers, not to take anything from anyone until or unless the parents approve of this. Then you will add up here. This is how I have also grown, getting these instructions from my parents. Till today, I am in class 9. Still, whenever I step out of the house, I get number of instructions from my parents, whether I'm boarding the school bus, or I'm boarding a rickshaw, or I'm cycling, or I'm just hanging around with my friends, right? Because it is the parents' duty. And the child's duty is also to follow the parents' instructions. This is how we can ensure that no one gets lost. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
You can add something else. You can add this also, that whenever you are carrying, you should be keeping an iCard in your pocket, because your iCard carries all the information about your parents, about your address, contact numbers, everything. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. Now let us discuss about some extra questions, right? There can be extra questions also. If we just start with the beginning of the story, then you see that what it is, where does the story take place? I'm asking you questions. Answer these. Where does the story take place?
Ma'am, in a fair of autumn, in a spring season.
In a fair. The story takes place in a fair. What was the season?
Spring season.
It was the spring season. Right. Now, when I asked you where does the story take place, you said fair. Now, here is the question. Where did the child go with his parents?
In a fair.
Yes?
In a fair.
To the fair.
To the fair.
To the fair. Please give me complete sentence answer. When you are asked a question, individual question, then you have to answer in complete sentence, right? For example, the question is, where did the child go with his parents? The answer would be, the child went to a fair with his parents. If you write to the fair, you will get half mark. Half mark only if your teacher is benevolent, right? I am not that kind enough to give marks here. because I have instructed my children to give a complete answer. So when they write such answers, I do deduct the marks. Okay. So please don't make this error. Yes.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes. What did the child want there?
The child need many things like toys, colorful balloons,
Right.
garland,
Yes.
and sweets.
Very
And he
good.
also wanted a ride on the roundabout.
Very good. Correct. Any four things you can mention here. Okay. Yes. What was his favorite sweet?
The child's favorite sweet was a burfi.
It was burfi. All right. Why didn't he? Why did he just mourned that he wanted burfi? If he had asked his parents to get burfi, what do you think would have been the reaction of the parents?
If he say to the parents to get a burfi, so the parents said to the child, the man was greedy.
That
The man was greedy.
the child was greedy, right? Fine. If he had asked his parents for the burfi, they would have called him greedy. That's why he was not loud enough to ask for burfi, right? Okay. What attracted the child towards the balloons?
The colors.
The multiple
colors.
colors, the rainbow colors, right? Simply remember the special feature of that balloon seller. The rainbow colors of the balloons attracted the child. Okay. Why didn't his parents give him the balloons?
Because the parents said to the child, if he say to the parents, the parents said that you are old than to play with the balloons.
He was too old to play, right? Now, too old to play is a sentence structure. If you find difficulty in this, you can also say that you can also say that his parents didn't give him the balloons because they thought he was so old or he was so grown up that he could not play with balloons or he should not be playing with balloons. Is that clear? देखो एक सिंपल सी बात है बेटा, आपको पॉइंट समझ में आ गया ना, राइट? सो you are not supposed to express your answer in the bookish words. No. Better it is that you try to express in your own words. Simple English, but correct English. This is what I always tell my children. बेशक सिंपल इंग्लिश यूज करिए लेकिन करेक्ट होना चाहिए और अपने वर्ड्स में कोशिश करो कि ज्यादा से ज्यादा एक्सप्रेस करो. That is possible only when you think in English. Then only you will write in English and you will finally speak in English. Is that clear? Okay.
Yes, sir.
The parents were in a hurry to reach the actual venue of the fair, but the child was delaying them. How do you think was the child delaying? He was lingering. How do you think he was delaying?
Because the child was stopping at everything that he wanted.
Okay, why would he stop? Why would he stop?
Because
to see the mustard field and the insects.
Okay, why would he see those? Why would he stop to see all these?
Because the child expects from the mustard fields and insects and play with them.
Because the child is attracted. Right? The word has been used many times. The child is attracted. So you would say that the lost child or the child is so much attracted by the toys, the butterflies, the dragonflies, the insects, the flowers, the snake charmer, that he lingers. That he lingers meaning he delays. He is so excited to get all these that he wants to get them, right? And that's how he stops at various places, and thus his parents get late because of him. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Now there is a question, why does the boy lag behind? The answer is the same.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Okay. What happened when the child reached the temple door? What happened when the child reached the temple door? Yes. What was the scene? Try to remember what happened there at the temple door. Yes.
I don't know.
Wasn't it crowded?
Yes, ma'am.
It was heavily crowded. What was the behavior of the crowd there?
The man jostling each other.
Right, right, absolutely right. What else?
The man jostling each other, and there is no distance and path to step up your leg.
Okay, okay. How was the child struggling? He had been slipping through their legs, right? You would say that near the temple door, it was all heavily crowded by the people. The good and evil, all kinds of people could be seen, but the child was quite horrified. He was crying. Perhaps no one could hear his cries. He had been struggling to move through the legs of the people, and he was afraid that he could be trampled by the crowd. So he had shouted, he had tried his best to shout at the highest pitch. Finally, his cries could be heard by a stranger who lifted him up. I hope it is clear now.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How did the mother distract the child's mind from the toy seller? Right at the in the very beginning, the very first thing he had seen the toy seller. He stopped there. He wanted toys. How the mother distracted his mind?
The child is the mother distract the child minds by say, "Come, child, come, see what's there."
Right. And then what did she point towards?
A mustard field.
She pointed towards mustard field. Correct. Right. When the child stopped at the toy seller's shop, he expressed his desire for the toys. The mother had just distracted his mind, pointing it towards a flowering mustard field. And the child's mind immediately got distracted to the dragonflies and the butterflies that he had seen there, and then he started running after them. Right? Okay. In the last, what was the last thing that he had requested his parents for?
The last thing he requested his parents for was a ride on the roundabout.
Right. Did they hear?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Why?
Because the child was lost.
Because the parents were not there. First you would say because the parents were not there. Then you would say, so he realized that he was lost. Now, one thing more here, children. Yes and no answers are not evaluated from class 9th onwards. Okay, whenever your answer is yes or no, you have to prove it by giving the reason. Then only you will get the marks, otherwise you will not get the marks. Just as for example, I said, did the parents hear his request? No, they didn't hear. No, no marks for this. You would say, no, they didn't hear as the parents were not there. And then the child realized that he was lost. Is that clear?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
do
Yes,
remember,
ma'am.
yes and no answers will not be given marks unless you give the reason. Okay? Yes. When the lost child entered the groove, you remember the groove? The parents had been waiting for their child in a groove. Groove, you remember what is a groove?
Oh, ma'am.
The footpath.
Grove is a cluster of trees, I said. They were sitting under the shade of the trees in a grove. The child entered the grove. What happened? Try to recall. When he entered the grove, what happened? Flowers and the petals fell upon him. You forgot?
Yes.
Right? The flowers and the petals, they fell upon him. And did the child enjoy there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
How did he enjoy?
He put the flowers from the floor.
Okay, he gathered the petals. Yes, what else did he find there?
Butterflies.
No.
The sweet shop of sweet meat.
No. In the groove, child in the groove. What did he find in the groove? When he entered the groove, the young flowers and their petals started falling on him. He started gathering all the petals and he was very happy gathering them. Soon he had heard the cooing of the doves and he got attracted towards the doves and he was running after the doves when the petals fell off his hand. But he had enjoyed all this time while sitting in the group. Is that clear?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. How was the child separated from his parents?
Ma'am, the
Yes.
child got distracted by seeing the roundabout.
Right. He got so lost in watching the people enjoying the ride that he soon forgot that his parents had gone away. Right? When he asked his parents and he got no reply, then he realized that he was lost. And he got separated. Then he realized that he was separated from his parents. Right? Okay. Who rescued the lost child?
A strange man rescued the lost child
Okay.
in a crowded place.
Yes. How did he rescue the child?
He lifted up in his arms and distract from and get affection from the
First Anmol, he tried to comfort him, right? He tried to make him feel comfortable. Then what did he do? What did he offer to him?
he offered sweets, balloons,
Right.
like charmers music and roundabout, but the child only wants his parents.
Right. Very correct answer. Right. So a strange man rescued the lost child, who lifted him up in his arms and tried to make him feel comfortable first, right? Then he offered him sweets, flowers, balloons, and the ride on the roundabouts. But the child was least interested in all this because he only wanted his parents, those who were not there at that time. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, you know that here, one thing I would like to tell you, which are one or two things very important. One thing is the literary device. The literary device which has been used in the story. At instances simile, but on the whole, you know what it is? There is irony in the story, right? There is irony in the story. Irony, do you know what is irony?
No, ma'am.
Yes, Vinayak, do you know?
No, ma'am.
Irony is happening something opposite to what we expect. This is one. Another irony is we say something, but its meaning is just opposite to this. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
This
ma'am.
is what here. Now here the story is the irony of the story in the lost child is that the child was sad. He was irritated when his parents would refuse to get him anything that he had wanted in the village fair, right? But the parents whom he, but you see that how the parents whom he lost, he had become so frantic, so panic when he lost his parents. The man, he had been offering everything to the child, yet he was least interested because he wanted his parents. What it means, the child was lost due to the negligence of parents, right? And the irony of the situation is that the child, when learns that he has been neglected or he has been lost by his parents, he thinks of his parents only. Don't you think that parents are definitely in the story, the parents are definitely somewhere unaware and negligent? That's why they have left their child behind. Isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
But the child, when realizes, he only thinks of his parents, nothing else. So this is the irony of the story. अब आप इसको और simpler words में मैं आपको बताती हूँ कैसे आप इसको how you will bring it out. You would say that there is the irony in the story The Lost Child. The child, before he was lost, he had been attracted to so many things. He expressed his desire to get them. He knew his parents would not get him anything. In fact, they did not get him anything. He was sad to know this. But later on, when he got separated from his parents, he had no anger for his parents. He still had that unconditional love and affection for his parents, as he had not wanted anything except his parents. He turned frantic, he turned panicked in search of his parents. He was offered each and everything which the parents did not, which the parents refused to get him, right? Yet he was not interested because he wanted his parents only. So this is the irony, right? Okay, now here is a general question. One more question is there. What is the message of the story? Yes. What do you think is the message the writer has tried to convey through the story? Is there the message for the children or the message for the parents or for both?
For both.
For both, right? Yes.
Like if our parents give our instructions, we have to follow them, and parents also, we should aware also that the child is there or not.
Right, very right. Yes, Vinayak, your comment on this?
Ma'am, same.
No, you express in your words.
Ma'am, the message is for both parents and children. Parents have to pay attention in a crowded place, whether
Right.
their child is following them or not. And the child also have to stay with their parents, not to go here and there
Right.
without asking their parents.
Right, very right. Okay, so let me sum it up now, right? So you would say there is the message for both the children and the parents as well. First of all, the parents, as we discussed earlier, right? The parents have to ensure when they are carrying a child with them, the parents have to ensure of the safety and well-being of the child. That would be maximum possible if the parents gave a lot many instructions before they leave. Despite those instructions, the parents should keep checking their child after every short interval, and they should keep on communicating with the child. They should make the child feel cheerful so that he stays with them. On the other hand, the children should also follow the instructions given by the parents. They are young. There is the question of security of the children. There is the chance of some strangers hovering around, and it always threatens the security and safety of the children. So they have to be careful of them. And the best safety is if they stay with their parents, they follow them, and they hold their hand. And they should also keep on communicating to the parents. Is that clear?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Now, this is a general inference question. This is completely your own opinion you have to give, right? So both of you will think in your perspective. If you were the child lost in the spring festival, in a fair, say Diwali fair, Christmas carnival, the Shara fair, Navratri fair, any mela, what would you have done? Had you been there in place of the child, what would you have done?
Ma'am, in his age.
Yes?
Ma'am, in his
No,
age.
you will tell your way, in your way. Had you been in place of child, what would you have done? अब इसमें अनमोल आप अपना अपना पर्सनल पर्सपेक्टिव बताएंगे, आपको बुक से कुछ लेना देना नहीं।
नो मैम, अगर हम उसकी छोटी एज में या अभी जिस एज में है।
हाँ, of course, his age.
Of course, firstly we have got panic.
Like the child.
Like the child.
Okay.
And we have to learn the number of our phone numbers of our parents.
Okay.
That should be if any stranger, like a child strangers, God help him in. So we call our parents and inform them.
Okay.
And there is in fair is a lost child center. We have to go there and announce it of our parents.
Good, very good. Okay. Yes, Vinayak.
Ma'am, first of all, we have to learn the number of our parents and our home address. And secondly, not to trust anyone if they are saying, I know your parents, I will take you.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So here, how you have to present it, you would say, if I were there in the story in place of the child, first of all, I would also have reacted in the same manner as the child had reacted. I would also have become panicked. I would also have started crying. I would definitely have searched my parents here and there. Perhaps I would have asked the people also describing my parents' appearance and the dress, if anybody had seen them. But since today's children are smarter, right, then in your case, you can say, since I am a city boy or a city girl, I remember my phone number. I know that every fair or every event has a desktop also. I would have been to the front desk, or I would have been to the reception's desk, and there I would have given my parents' contact number, or I would have requested them, or I would have cried there, telling them I have lost my parents. And they might have made an announcement. Perhaps it would have helped me to find my parents. Is that clear? And last
Yes,
में विनायक एक last में कुछ point बोला था आपने. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting.
ma'am, to trust
To
on
be careful of the
strangers.
yes. That just as the boy in the story, he got along with the stranger. Fortunately, the stranger had come out to be a good man who wanted to help him. But I had learned from my parents not to trust the strangers. I would not have trusted him. I would have preferred to go to a gentleman, or I would have preferred to go to the reception where I would have told them my problem. And then perhaps I would have got my parents. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is it right to say that the children and the adults, they are different? Is it right that children are different from the adults?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, definitely they are different. What is the difference?
The adults are
Ma'am, innocence.
The adults.
The adults are responsible.
The adults are mature. Right? Remember these very words. Adults are mature. And maturity gives them sense of responsibility as well. On the contrary, the children are simple, immature, and innocent. The adults have the experience of life. With their experience of life and with the maturity, they should see how to tackle with the children when they go out. They have to act not only as parents, but as the children's mentors. They should guide their children. Children always get attracted towards the things that the boy in the story gets attracted. This was nothing wrong that the child has done. It is natural because he is young, innocent child for whom everything is exciting. So that is his curiosity. We cannot curb that curiosity. But the adults have to understand how to tackle. The parents, you know what the parents had done? They had refused everything to the child. They did not explain to him. If they never wanted this, they should not have plainly said, hey, no. They should have tried to explain something. They should have learned how to refuse in a tactful manner. The child was angry with the parents. He was irritated with the parents. So the adults, because of their maturity and experience of life, they should always they should always deal with the children in a tactful manner. The children are innocent. They have no experience of life. They will not understand, but the adults would have to make them understand. All right? Yes, fine. This is finished. Write me that question on request वाले उसमें मुझे @gurus पे आप भेजेंगे. कि आपको आपकी क्या query है, then I'll touch upon that.
Okay, ma'am.
Right? So I'll wait for that.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, beta, take care.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. Goodbye.